I have now here Hugh D. Clarke from Endeavour Silver. This is a mining company, correct?
That's correct, Lars. Endeavour Silver is a silver mining company. We have 2 mines in Mexico, and we produce silver and gold. About 75% of our metal value is silver, and the other 25% is gold.
Mm-hmm. One factor for your kind of business is the price development of gold and silver. What are your expectations there?
Well, my expectations, and this is Hugh Clarke speaking, not the company speaking, I must be clear about that, is I'm very, very bullish on the price of gold and silver, in that every generation we get a big cyclical bull market in silver and gold, and we're right in the early stages of one right now. The price of silver closed yesterday at around $27, and I think we're going to see at least $50 for the price of silver and $2,500 in the price of gold. The tough thing is to figure out when. It's not going to happen overnight, and there will be some pullbacks in the price of gold and silver, but ultimately I think we'll hit those prices.
Yeah, and when there are such pullbacks, you would buy more?
Yes, if you have the courage. It's hard to do. You know, it's easy to talk about it, but yes, that would be the correct time to buy gold and silver, is on a pullback.
Mm-hmm. And why should I invest in your company?
The answer is, I think, very simple, and that's good management. Excluding myself, our 2 company founders, Bradford Cook and Godfrey Walton, set this company up in 2003, at which time the price of silver was around $4 or $5 an ounce. And they organized the company expressly for the purpose of looking for silver in Mexico. We bought our first asset in 2004, our second mine in 2007, and with that vision in mind, they also hired and brought on board some very competent people as our chief financial officer, as our vice president of operations, and our vice president of exploration, plus some very strong middle management people in Mexico. And the result is this. You can see it in our performance. We've grown this company by close to 800% in the last 5 or 6 years. We keep driving down our cash costs. We keep increasing our reserves and resources of silver and gold in the ground. At the same time, we've maintained a very, very strong capital structure and a strong financial position. We have only 70 million shares outstanding. We have about $42 million in working capital. Our cash flow is increasing quarter by quarter by quarter, and very importantly, we have no debt. That, to me, tells me that's a well-managed and a very strong company.
Yeah. As you know, the silver market is subject, at least for rumors, that the price action is suppressed, and there is now a lawsuit against JP Morgan Chase and HSBC. What are your thoughts on this topic?
That's important, but you know what's really important, Lars, is supply and demand. That, to me, is really what drives prices. And on the demand side of this equation, silver is a unique metal in that it has 2 purposes. It's a form of monetary value and preserving your wealth. Mm-hmm. And also it has very, very strong and important industrial applications. For instance, all the electronics that we use today in today's world need silver to make them work as well as they do. That includes your car, the things in your home like your washing machine and your refrigerator. And there's new applications being developed literally every week in, again, more industrial applications. And silver has antibacterial qualities, so there's a lot of new applications coming in the field of medicine for silver. The U.S. Patent Office issues more patents for silver-based products than all the other metals combined. So you have a tremendous draw of supply for these industrial and electronic applications. So you've got a very, very strong demand curve there that's not going to stop. As we talk about these developing countries and their needs for the consumer products you and I have, they're not going to buy a $1,000 TV, but they will buy a $10 fan. That fan will need a little bit of silver. They're not going to buy a $40,000 automobile, but they will buy a $100 refrigerator. That refrigerator needs silver to make it run. So ever increasingly, you have this terrific demand for industrial applications. Secondly, for demand, you have a rapidly increasing amount of silver going for investment demand, both in the form of bullion and certificates, and the very popular exchange-traded funds. There's exchange-traded funds now in North America, in Europe, in Australia, and the demand on that accelerates every year. So you've got demand from two sources coming against not a huge supply of silver. So for me, that's the most important thing. Then if you bring in things like the debasement of currencies, we all talk about the US dollar, but everybody's doing this. The Canadians are, I'm a Canadian, the Japanese are, the Europeans are, everybody is printing more paper money. So a way to look at it is the price of silver and gold hasn't changed in 5,000 years. What has changed is the amount of currency it takes to buy that silver and gold. So as time goes on, we continue to create more fiat money, debase our currencies, and in that environment, people rush to physical metals like gold and silver. You add all that together, including the price manipulation, and you can really see the table is set for much higher prices in both gold and silver.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lars.